I got it about a week ago from a dealership, and it was a trade-in they had, and the battery was dead, so I had to jump start it when I got it. And when I got it, I drove it, everything was perfectly fine, and it got to the point that I had issue with starting it, no crank, no start. And I'll tell you shortly what happened generally with this car. When I got it, every time I had to jump start it, and one of the times that I tried to drive the vehicle, the transmission started kicking, and I took it to a shop. They diagnosed it, and they told me that there is a solenoid in transmission that went bad, so they have to replace it. They charged me around 600 bucks. They replaced it. A day later, the stereo system went out. I couldn't see anything on the stereo, and I was surprised, and I thought maybe the problem is because I'm jump starting it every time. So I got a new battery for it, and I tried to jump start the vehicle. The alarm system went off when I put the new battery in it, and I took the battery out. I let the car sit for a day, and after a day I put the battery in again. I tried to start the car and it wouldn't start, and I'll tell you guys later why I made this mess. So I would do something like this. The lights would come on, it wouldn't start, nothing. You wouldn't see security light or anything. So I contacted Toyota dealership. I talked to one of the technician, and he told me that there might be the aftermarket security system in it. So I wanted to check the relays first and make sure everything is fine. So I'll show you guys that first, and after that I'll walk you guys through what I did. So what happened was that before I checked for security system, I came under the hood to just check, make sure the starter relay is fine. That's the slot for it right over there, and this is the code if you guys want to look at it. So I tried testing that, and the relay was perfectly fine, and I thought maybe it might be a starter issue. So what I did is that I left the key in the car, and I left it in an on position to see if the security system has issue or not. What I did is that I tried to start the car from the starter itself. So what I did is that there are two ways you can do it. One is that you can unplug the starter plug, and you can give it positive and negative and start it from down there. Or what you could do is that you could connect the positive to the battery, just a cable like a wire like this, and the other side of it you just bring it to the starter where the starter relay goes, and you try to start it from the engine. So the car started fine, and so I figured out that's not the issue for the car as far as security. But I couldn't figure it out, so I thought maybe there is some sort of wiring in the car that is shorting out, or there is some sort of issue with the ignition. So what I did is that I opened up the whole dash to just get to the wires and see what I see. And when I got to the where the ignition switch is, there was this yellow wire, that there was a wire attached to it, this wire right here. There was a green wire attached to it that would go to the trunk in the car. So I followed that wire. When it came to the trunk, there was a puddle of water there, and the wire was in it, and that wire had 8 voltage going through it. So pretty much what I assumed was that it's shorting out the system somehow. So it might have burned some wires or some sort of thing in the system. And it kind of makes sense for me too, because the stereo went out, transmission started giving code, and I started having all these issues because of a stupid wire that somebody, when they took out their stereo system, they forgot to cut the wire or secure it at least. So I went throughout the whole wiring. I couldn't figure anything out, and I tried to see if I can rewire the car as far as where the starter is, where the ignition switches to the starter. And when I was going through the wirings in the ignition switch, one of the wire, the number that it had was matching with one of the main fuse right here, and I couldn't find this anywhere online. I mean, I wish I did. So I had an idea. That's why I'm sharing this video for you guys. Maybe it's helpful for you. But one of the main fuse was bad, and what I did is that I replaced it, and the car started fine every time. So right now I'm just gonna put the starter relay back in and start it, and everything should be okay. So if you are having this problem, there are a couple of things you need to look at. First of everything, what you need to do is that you gotta make sure the starter relay is fine. If you want to check for your starter to see if your starter is fine after that, you could grab a wire, the one exactly I showed you, connect it to the positive, and you connect it to where the relay goes, and if the car cranks, it means your starter is okay. And if you are having that issue, the next step is that I would definitely recommend checking for the one of these main fuse, the one on top, this one. The code is 82620-33030. I bought one from Amazon for